When people hear the words Nazi war criminals, they usually think of the same handful of names. Himmler, Goebbels, Mengele, the big ones. But here's the thing, those guys weren't working alone. The Holocaust, the camps, the whole nightmare. It wasn't just the famous names. There were so many others. Doctors, commanders, even ordinary men who turned into monsters. And a shocking number of them didn't hang at Nuremberg, didn't end up in prison. No, a lot of them slipped away. They built new lives, sometimes under fake names, sometimes with governments protecting them. Some even died peacefully in their beds. So today I want to walk you through 10 Nazi criminals you probably haven't heard of, but trust me, their stories are just as chilling. Let's start with number 1, Aribert Heim, the so-called Doctor of Death. This guy was a physician at Mauthausen, but instead of healing, he used his patients for experiments. He'd cut people open without anesthesia, inject poison straight into their veins, even pump gasoline into their hearts just to see what would happen. Absolute sadist. And after the war, he didn't end up in prison. He vanished. For decades, people thought he was hiding in South America, but the truth came out later. He had converted to Islam and was living in Cairo under the name Tariq Hussein. He lived there for years, comfortable, free, until he died in 1992. The man who murdered countless people got to live a long life in peace. That's horrifying. Number 2, Klaus Barbie, the Butcher of Lyon. Barbie was the Gestapo chief in Lyon, France. He was infamous for torture, using electricity, breaking bones, beating people half to death. He even personally oversaw Jewish children being put on trains to Auschwitz. Now here's the insane part. After the war, he was protected by the United States. Yep, the CIA thought he could help them fight communism. So instead of prison, he was shipped off to Bolivia. There he lived for decades, working with dictators, advising them on torture. Only in the 1980s did they finally catch him and send him to France for trial. He died in prison, but not before spending 40 years living free. Number 3, Alois Brunner, Eichmann's right hand. If Eichmann was the architect of the Holocaust, Brunner was his project manager. He organized deportations from Austria, Greece, and France, over 130,000 people sent to their deaths. After the war, he ran off to Syria. Not only did they protect him, but he actually advised the Assad regime, teaching their intelligence forces how to torture. Israel tried to get him. Mossad even sent letter bombs. He lost an eye and some fingers, but he kept living. Can you believe that? He's believed to have died in Damascus around 2001, never having faced real justice. Number 4, Walter Rauff, the guy who invented the gas vans. Before extermination camps, the Nazis used trucks. Big sealed vans where the exhaust pipe fed straight inside, killing everyone during the ride. That was Rauff's idea. Thousands and thousands of people suffocated in those vans. After the war, he escaped to Chile. And you know what? He lived there openly. When Germany asked for him back, Chile said no. He died peacefully in 1984, never punished for inventing one of the Nazis' cruelest tools of murder. Number 5, Franz Stangl, Commandant of Sobibor and Treblinka. This man was terrifyingly efficient. Under his watch, nearly 1 million people were exterminated. 1 million. After the war, he escaped too. First to Syria, then Brazil. He lived with his wife and kids working at a Volkswagen factory. Imagine working next to this guy and having no idea. In 1967, they finally caught him. At his trial, he admitted it all, but said he felt nothing. That's how disconnected he was from the horror. He got life in prison, but died just 4 years later. Number 6, Josef Schwamberger. He ran labor camps in Poland, and he didn't just command, he killed people himself. Survivors said he'd shoot prisoners for fun, set his dogs on them just to spread fear. And guess where he went? Argentina. He lived quietly for decades until Nazi hunters finally tracked him down in the 1980s. He was extradited, sentenced to life, and died in prison in 2004. But still, he enjoyed nearly 40 years of freedom before paying for anything. Number 7, Gerhard Bohner, mastermind of Action T4. This was the Nazis' so-called euthanasia program. It targeted the mentally ill and disabled, killing over 70,000 people in hospitals. Gas chambers disguised as showers, injections, quiet murders behind closed doors. Bohner helped run it. After the war, he escaped to Argentina. When he was finally arrested, he pleaded bad health and was let go. He died free, never punished. Just imagine that. The man behind one of the first large-scale Nazi killing programs lived out his old age comfortably. Number 8, Gustav Wagner, the Beast of Sobibor. And beast is the right word. Survivors said Wagner was pure brutality. He'd beat people to death, shoot them on a whim, terrorize the camp. After the war, he ran to Brazil. He lived there for decades until he was finally arrested in 1978. But once again, Brazil refused to send him back to Europe. In 1980, he was found dead with a knife wound. Some say suicide, some say murder, maybe even Mossad. Either way, justice was never served properly. Number 9, Eduard Roschmann, the butcher of Riga. Roschmann oversaw the Riga ghetto in Latvia, and his name is still remembered by survivors for the massacres he ordered. After the war, he went to Argentina, like so many others. When Nazi hunters closed in, he bolted again, this time to Paraguay. He died there in 1977, never facing trial. And finally, number 10, Herbert Kukers, the butcher of Latvia. Kukers was actually a Latvian aviator, kind of a national hero before the war, but during the Nazi occupation, he became a collaborator and personally took part in massacres. After the war, he went to Brazil, started a flying school, even became a minor celebrity. Survivors recognized him, but nothing was done, until 1965, when Mossad lured him into a trap in Uruguay. They killed him there, finally delivering some kind of justice. So there you have it, 10 names that most people never hear when they think of Nazi criminals, and honestly that's the point. History likes to focus on the big monsters, the ones in the spotlight. But the truth is, these horrors were carried out by thousands of others. Some were caught, some were killed, but far too many lived long, quiet lives. Remembering their names isn't about giving them fame, it's about not forgetting what they did. Because every time the world looks away, evil gets another chance to walk free. And if you found this video eye-opening, this is exactly what we do here on WT Facts. We do We dig up the shocking, the forgotten, and the unbelievable parts of history that most people never hear about. So if you don't want to miss the next story, make sure to hit that subscribe button and join us because trust me, history still has plenty of secrets left to uncover.